So when we think about the big picture, I'm calling on you all tonight to think about joining up with us. You know, some people might sit here and think, well, I don't know, this sounds like a sales pitch. Yeah. I'm here to recruit. I'll admit that. No problem with that. And to join in with us in a great work of God, of care, of compassion, of love. Begin with your personal relationship with God. We read in 2 Corinthians 8, Paul says the Macedonians who were poor themselves were great givers, and their extreme poverty welled up in rich generosity, he says, because they gave themselves first to the Lord and then to us in keeping with God's will. This is where it starts. You know, simply being a do-gooder leads to nothing but self-righteousness. To really give that self-giving love of Christ, the first thing you have to do is start your own personal relationship with Him. And that's inviting Jesus into your life. Having His death apply to your sins. And, think about that. A relationship with God Himself. Yes, it's possible. God's eager to know people and to rescue them. But He's not going to force it on us. We have to open the door. Jesus said to as many as open the door when I knock, I will come in. You should think about that tonight. Secondly, we have to allow the plight of the poor to hurt us. And not to, what was the word He used? To harden our heart, to stiffen our heart against the poor. That's what's all too easy to do, is we just don't want to look at that. And we don't want to be hurt by it. We have to let ourselves be hurt. We need to pray that God will lead each of us into a powerful giving ministry. Now, starting now, and right on into the future, especially when the big bucks start rolling in after graduation, we are obligated to share our wealth with the poor. And that is taught in the Bible. So if you're a Bible believer here, you know that this is something that we are obligated to do. Giving to Xenos is one of the best ways. You can give to other things as well. But we know where our dollars are going. We know what is happening with them, and it's not being filtered off. And that's why we have the open book policy, where anyone can look at our accounting and study where every dollar in this church goes, because we believe in transparency and accountability when it comes to handling people's gifts to the Lord's work. There's also a chance to get involved in service ministry now. James, I had to cut it out of the movie to get time down, that a lot of college people have already come down and volunteered in the after-school program. College students are big players down there. But we also have opportunities even closer at hand. And a group here in the college ministry has taken an interest recently in forging links with some area groups that are already doing service work. We have some fairly poor people living right around here. And our ministry houses are not known as being centers of benevolence and care, but really as being kind of houses that are into their own thing and don't care about what's going on around them. I got that from a community leader down here who said that everyone knows about Xenos ministry houses, but they just feel like they, are having fun, but they're just doing their own thing. They're not involved. I don't think that's good. I don't think, this is part of our testimony. We look at the movie about Urban Concern. That's part of our testimony as a church. What would it mean if a church of 5,000 people, affluent people, didn't have something like that? That'd be pretty pitiful. And so, too, we have a testimony to consider here on campus. That we should be known as the kind of people who care, who get out. And the result is what Paul calls that we adorn the gospel. It's adorning the gospel with works of goodness. That can't hurt. It ain't going to hurt them. It ain't going to hurt us either. It's supposed to be up. If you go to Xenos website and find under ministries, find a college ministry, there'll be a link to this there. And the last time I looked, it wasn't there yet. So if it's not there yet, it's going to be there in a couple of days. Takes the wheels, turn slow. And they already have a number of ideas here. This is going to be filled out with a calendar and lists of organizations you can hook up with and ideas for your ministry house if you want to try doing. Just go out on a Saturday afternoon and do some service. Do something for someone else. Great idea, and I appreciate you guys working on this. Well, there's some good ideas for getting started. To next week, then, we'll take up the even bigger question. Oh my God, what are we going to do about the rest of the world? And I hope you haven't had too much, that you'll come back and hear out our ideas on that as well.